Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the course advising session for psychology classes for spring 2023. I am Dr. Stillwell. I am the chair of the department and one of the advisors for psychology students, majors, and our two minors. And with me is Dr. Fryer, who also advises students in our program. And so we're going to run, oh, there he is. We're going to run you through a little bit about Bear Paws and Bear Den and how to find classes and how to know what you need. And then you're welcome to get in touch with either of us or your advisor if you have any questions from here. So here we go. First of all, you're going to start with Bear Paws, which is the website that gives you access to all kinds of things, your classes, the classes you've taken, all stuff with student support services, all that sort of thing. So everything starts with Bear Paws. And I've got the link up here, and I'm going to do a new share so that you can see what that looks like. So here's the actual website. You can see when I log in, it's going to look a little bit different than yours does. And so obviously faculty advisors, I don't have access to the student side of things, but it's mostly the same. The things that you'll be wanting to look at are things like class search. We'll get to that in a little bit. And then Bear Den, which is the degree navigator that is going to tell you what you need and what you've finished and what's in progress. And I actually have one of these that I can show you. I'm going to stop that share and show you the one that I've sort of made up here that I took everybody's information out of. So there's your Bear Paws. Here's Bear Den. Obviously I've taken the names out here. You can see that you've got your degree. For psychology, it's a Bachelor of Arts. This person is a first semester student. I will move the captions out of the way. Ignore this degree progress thing. We hate it. It makes no sense. It used to be a bar. Now it's a circle. Ignore it. It's not going to help you. So I'm trying to there. Why is this not going? There we go. So you're going to start with your degree sort of information. Now you can see up here where it says red, that's incomplete. That means you still have stuff to do. Anything that has a red circle like this means that it is not completed. So it's going to tell you you need 120 academic credit hours. 30 of those credits need to be at Potsdam. 45 of them need to be upper division. So that's anything 300 or above. 90 of them need to be liberal arts credits, which is not going to be an issue if you're a psych major, because almost everything is liberal arts aside from maybe an internship. A minimum 2.0 GPA overall, and then 70 credits outside of the psychology department. And that's where all of your pathways and other courses are going to come in. So you'll see all of that at the top of your Bear Den. Moving on, you'll see as you scroll down the screen what we call our Pathways General Education program. And you can see here, this student is actually currently taking this semester 2 classes, a Ways 101 class. See that little blue half circle? That means it's in progress. And then a TF Thinking Foundationally class this student is also taking. So Ways 101 is our critical thinking seminar. Ways 102 is the college writing seminar. And then Ways 103 is the diversity, equity, and inclusion seminar. And all first-year students are required to take all of these. And typically what happens is you might take Ways 101 and Ways 103 in your first semester, or maybe not. But certainly in your second semester, you will wind up taking Ways 102 and Ways 103. TA is part of one of the ways of thinking. These are some of the foundational courses that we have. We have Thinking Aesthetically, which is an art sort of class, Thinking Foundationally, which I actually will show you on the next page. This was actually Introduction to Art. It's a brand new art history class that the student is taking, you can see. Thinking Historically, there are all kinds of history classes that could be in American history or world history. The sort of options are up to you. Thinking Mathematically, hey, this person is taking Math 125, which is statistics, and you're going to see that's going to be part of your psych major as well. And then we have the SW and the NW. The SW is going to be fulfilled by your research methods class here in psych. It has to do with a little bit of a deeper exploration into that particular discipline. In the case of psychology, it's learning about how we do research and ethics and all of that sort of thing. And then there's an NW, which is a thinking scientifically about the natural world. So that could be biology or chemistry or physics or earth science. That there are a number of ways that you can fulfill that particular requirement, and which one is kind of up to you and your strengths and what you like, what you feel comfortable taking.
One other point about the NW, if I
may.
Oh,
yes, please.
The NW is 4 credits because that course is going to be a 3-credit lecture, but it's also going to have a 1-credit lab that goes along with that.
Right. Thank you. I had neglected that. The WAYS 103, it's my understanding that is no longer there. It's still showing up on Bearden, but we've decided to remove that requirement. Is that true?
It is temporarily on hold, the WAYS 301.
What is? Okay,
WAYS 103 is still very much a thing, but 301, that's on hold for the moment.
Okay, good. So you won't need to worry about that. So we're getting into, with the ways of connecting, a little bit deeper into your education and a little bit more advanced, and some classes that are going to be a little bit more challenging. We have the CL, which is connecting through language. This is your language requirement. Now, this could happen in high school. If you took enough language classes to fulfill that, your high school transcript, that will automatically populate that. So if you only took a couple of years of like Spanish, you'll need to take something. And again, we'll show you how to find those classes. The CG, the student that our model student here, is taking language and magic, which actually sounds really interesting. I think I'd like to try that. That is our connecting globally requirement, which is something like anthropology, perhaps, or some other area like that. We have the CM and the CT. The CM is our communication within the major, and the CT is applied learning. Now, those two you won't be having to worry about until like maybe your junior or senior year. Those courses will be available in the major, and we're sort of working on getting those approved. So you'll see those soon. So don't worry about them yet. And hey, here's the psych major. There it is right there. Now you can see the student is lacking, once again, classes in the major. And this was a brand new student, so this person doesn't have a GPA yet. So you'll see here that all psych students have to take intro to psych, statistics, and research methods. And this student is already taking intro to psych and statistics. You can see that the two blue half circle. Research methods is a 4-credit-hour course, and that's where you will get your SW, and that's where you will learn about research, and you'll do a little bit of initial kind of research activity. And that class is going to then be the prerequisite for lots of other classes within the major. Now, these 3 classes, intro, stats, and methods, are the only 3 classes that everybody has to take. After that, which classes you take will depend on your interests and your future plans and your strengths and all of that. So that's going to be up to you, and your advisor is going to help you with that. So we have 3 categories of classes. We have our group 1 classes. You can see a few of them here. Human learning and memory and animal behavior, and then biopsychology, drugs and behavior, cognitive psych, sensory psych, history of psych, and psychology of language. Now you need any 2 of those. So if you're thinking about going into counseling, then maybe cognitive psychology and learning and memory, or cognitive, would be the ones that you'd want to take. Or psychology of language, if you're thinking about going into speech pathology and biopsychology. So again, your advisor is going to help you. You don't have to figure this out by yourself. We've got a good idea of how to match you up with your courses. And then we have these classes called Group 2 classes. And right now, the advanced child development and the intellectual disabilities, we're not offering them. We're hoping that we'll be able to hire someone to teach those classes. But we are offering social psychology. That's what I teach. Personality. That's what Dr. Fryer teaches. Abnormal psychology and tests and measurements. Dr. Mills teaches those. And so again, you would take 2 of those. And again, which 2? It's up to you. And then we have electives. So elective classes in psychology are classes that you have not taken for your group 1 or your group 2. You can certainly take another group 2 class or another group 1 class for your electives. Lots of students like to take child development, possibly psychology of adolescence, educational psychology, Counseling theory and methods. A lot of students like to take that if they're going into clinical. So again, you'll see a bunch of those. We're always trying to offer new ones when we can. There's actually a new psychology elective that we're having in the spring, that Dr. Mouse is going to be teaching from English and communication. It's psychology and fiction, which sounds really interesting. Sort of taking a look at books that have psychological themes, using the lens of psychology to try to understand those books and their impact on literature. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing what that's about. I think that's going to be cool. What have I missed, Dr. Barr?
May I pipe up?
Please.
Some of the classes that we teach, those are labeled as group 1. Some of them are labeled as group 2, but there are plenty of classes that don't fit into either one of those groups. Take, for example, I know Dr. Stillwell mentioned psychology of adolescence. That is, we can certainly take that, but it's an elective class. It doesn't go into one of those other groups. You're going to need 4 of those classes anyways. Again, you could take all sorts of group 1s and group 2s, and those extra ones count as electives, but not every one of our classes counts as a group 1 or a group 2. There are plenty that can just fit for that elective category.
Mm-hmm. And those are we try to make those fun classes, interesting classes to round out the kinds of things that you have already taken with your group 1 and group 2, kind of fill in some of the gaps for you, like especially if you're going into clinical or counseling. Probably counseling theory and methods is one you might want to take as an example. Okay, so Starfish is our advising platform, and you might have heard your advisor talking about Starfish. Here's the link right here. And you can certainly just do a quick Google search, SUNY Potsdam Starfish. It'll take you right there. And that's where you will sign up for advising appointments, and you'll have notes from your advisor. You can raise a flag if you're having trouble in a class and you need help, or you want to ask about tutoring. And that is connected into groups on campus like the Student Success Center, and even the Counseling Center, and TRIO, and C-STEP, and EOP. So if you're an athlete, your coaches have access to that, as well as your advisors. So there are all kinds of folks who are there who can help you if you're having problems with your classes, or you have questions or something you just need to know about. And so that's going to become a major part of your advising experience as you're here at Potsdam. Now, how do I find classes? Okay, so here's that link again. It's Bear Paws, and we're going to do a little bit of that right now. So again, this is the faculty one. It looks a little bit different than the student one, but the class search is the same. And so you can search by term. So we're going to look for spring 2023. And we've got all kinds of stuff here. You can search by the actual subject, like psychology.
Dr. Stillwell, before you hit submit, may I pipe up? What you're seeing right now, everyone, this is, like Dr. Stillwell said, this is the faculty version of the class search. You can see this exact same thing if, when you're looking for classes, you hit the advanced search button. Otherwise, you'll just break it down by here's the subject and all the courses and all that. But if you want to have access to all of this cool stuff, just hit advanced search.
Yes. And for those of you that hate 8 o'clock in the morning, right, or really don't like evening classes, you can, or you really want to have a Friday class, you can look for a Friday class. There are all kinds of ways of sort of figuring that out. If you're thinking that maybe you might want to take something virtual, we do have some virtual classes. Some of them are online, some of them are synchronous, asynchronous, hybrid. So that's a possibility to look at that. I know Dr. Fryer and I both teach some of our classes with what we call a virtual option, so that you can be face-to-face, or you can be virtual using either Zoom, or that's what I use, or Teams. And then Brightspace is our learning management system. You've probably already used that because that's where all of your courses kind of live online, even if they're face-to-face courses. And so if you're interested in, you can see some of these are not going to look, they're going to look unfamiliar, like this cross-cultural. That's because we're in the process of transitioning from one gen ed program to a new gen ed program. So some of these you're not going to have to worry about. So we're going to scroll down here. We're going to look for a TA, a thinking aesthetically. Oh, there aren't any. Excellent. Then
You had psychology selected up
did
top.
I? Oh, I didn't unselect that. Oops, that's my bad. Let's try that again.
So students, when you run into a problem like this, make sure that you reset things and you can start the search from scratch, because if you had a search term kicking over from before, it's going to mess stuff up.
And if you have me in class, I'm going to mess this up multiple times. So, which is, I'm old. I mean, I have a lot of gray hair. So the fact that I'm able to do this is huge. So here are some TA classes, thinking aesthetically. So you can see here, it says AE, aesthetic experiential. You can ignore that because that's the old gen ed program. Introductory art studio, foundations of drawing. And here it's got the class time and the days and where and who's teaching it. Foundations of drawing. There's several sections, color and design. A lot of students like to take color and design. That's sort of an introductory art class. There's a bunch of sections of that. Three-dimensional design. I don't know what that, I guess that's, I took art, but go ahead.
It's another one of those intro studio art classes.
Okay.
One thing that you as a student might want to click on if you're not sure what three-dimensional design is, if you hit the view catalog entry link, that will actually take you to a description of that class.
Hey, there it is. A wide variety of construction and fabrication techniques. Wow, okay. I took a lot of art and I was terrible at all of it. So my professors were very kind to me. Oh, we got beginning. Oh, yeah.
If you also click on, for example, let's say you click on where it says beginning ballet, that 81535, click on that link, that will also give you how big this class is. So when you're looking for classes, if it's after people have started registering, this you can use to say, okay, how many people are in this class and how many seats are open? Like how many spots are there where I could still possibly register for? You see right here, this has 24 students in the class. That's what we call the enrollment cap. There are no students currently registered because as of this recording, registration hasn't started, which means that there are then 24 seats remaining in that class.
Right. And yours is going to look a little bit different. It's going to look more almost like an Excel spreadsheet because you'll be adding classes. Ours is a little bit of a different format, so please don't let that, stress you out. One thing you will want to pay attention to is if you try to add a class and it has a little C next to it, that means that class is full, it's closed. That doesn't mean that you can't get into it. You might need to email the professor and see if there's room for you. Sometimes there is, and sometimes there isn't. And so it's always good to have a backup plan if there is a class that you really want and you're not sure if you're going to be able to get it. So we have, like I said, maybe you want ballet for your TA, but you're thinking, well, beginning jazz would be okay too. So it's good to have some backups. Introduction to acting, creative writing. So there are all kinds, as you can see, there are all kinds of ways of fulfilling these different gen ed programs. And they're typically not limited to just one area, just one department. So let's go back to where we were before. So again, Bear Paws, this is where you will look for your classes, find your classes. And I've showed you that, the little anthropology, the listing of all of the different areas. And then again, this, as I move that, the type of schedule, the method, the instructor, if there's a particular instructor who you took a class with, maybe you took Intro to Psych with Dr. Fryer and you think he's really awesome, you can search by instructor and see who is teaching, if that instructor is teaching other classes that are interesting. And again, that's from that advanced search that Dr. Fryer mentioned. And so if you have questions, we would certainly like to help you. You are welcome to email any of your psych advisor, any of your psych professors. You can email me. I'm always happy to help out. You've received emails from me all semester. So all you need to do is just reply to one of those, look up my name on Outlook, and we will do whatever we can to help you get a good class schedule, make sure that your requirements are being fulfilled and that you have a good semester. Dr. Fryer, do you have any closing thoughts?
Just one real quick. When you come in for your advising appointment with your advisor, there are just a couple of quick things that you should have. So ideally, you've looked through all of this stuff that Dr. Stillwell has gone through here, and you have some idea what you need to take and maybe some idea what you want to take. Now, especially if you're early on and this is new for you, we're not expecting you to know how to do all these things. We spend a lot of time walking people through this whole process and teaching you. That is part of our job. That is okay. But if there are classes that you know that you need to take, for every class that you're thinking about, write down, here's the class, right? What is it? What subject, what course number? For example, Psych 100 for that. Write down the days and the times. MTWRF, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? Classes are usually going to be 150 minutes of your time every week. So either twice a week for 75 minutes a pop or 3 times a week for 50 minutes a section. If it's a 3-credit class, it's going to fill all of those things. So no, you do not just have a class on Thursday morning for 75 minutes. It's going to be also on Thursday.
On Tuesday.
Right. Also on Thursday in addition to Tuesday. So write down all of this stuff. Whether you keep in a spreadsheet or a Word document, whatever, the days, the times, the class, if it fulfills any one of those pathways requirements, like if I'm your advisor and you come in and you say, hey, I want to take Art 120, right? Great. I love that you're thinking about this. Why? Right. And maybe you'll say, oh, because 1, art's super interesting and I love it. And 2, it fulfills this thinking aesthetically kind of requirement. None of us as advisors want to have any of you be box checkers, right? Ideally, all of this stuff is relevant to what you want to do. But at the same time, we do have to consider the boxes and hopefully they get checked eventually. But hopefully it's useful. So when we ask you why you're taking this, it's both of those questions. What do you want out of this and what requirement does it fulfill? I would also keep track of that little 5-digit CRN that goes with every class, right? Not just the day and the time. It's, 81537 or whatever. You may need that for registration as well. So as you're looking through things, keep a nice big document with all of your options. And like Dr. Stillwell said, your backup classes, because in case you can't get into something, we need to get you into something else as a replacement. So for your first meeting, again, we're going to walk you through this stuff, but if there's any of this prep work that you do in advance, that would be wonderful. And here's what you should keep track of. One, I guess, very last thing, and I know Dr. Stillwell was saying this before, this, especially if you've never done it before, can possibly seem really confusing and maybe a little bit daunting, right? We don't expect you to know any of this. We're going to hold your hand. We're going to walk you through this stuff. By the time you're a senior, you're going to be an expert at this stuff. It's going to be completely cool.
Yep.
But for right now, all we would kind of ask is you come in with an open mind, maybe a little bit of prep, and be ready to sort of learn how to go through this process. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. And I've been here almost 30 years. I know this stuff. You can trust us. We will help you. We're not going to let you down. I do this for fun with friends of advisees who are having trouble figuring stuff out, and their advisor's not working out. They're a bio major, and I try to help them out with that. I just like working with students and talking with students. And so, yeah, please, reach out to us. That's why we're here at Potsdam. We want to help our students be successful and to choose the classes that will make you not hate your life in April or November, right? And that will move you toward your degree and ultimately toward your career, what's going to make life fun and interesting and fulfilling. And so it all starts here, and we'll get you there. Don't worry. So please feel free to reach out to us if you have questions. We're happy to help in whatever way we can. And I hope you have a great rest of your semester, and good luck with everything as the semester starts to heat up a little bit. Things are going to get, it's going to be chaos, but that's okay. And we look forward to seeing you. Have a great night.
Take care, everyone.
Okay. So
Stop the recording.